So, welcome to today's podcast where I'm joined by Monique Idemudia. Monique, thank you very much for joining me on the show today. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, no, it's, as I say, a pleasure to have you here and obviously find out more about you, your journey, how you got to where you are, and all of that stuff. But for anyone who isn't familiar with who you are, can you just give us a condensed background of where you're based and what the hell you're doing at the moment?
Right. So my name is Monique Idemudia. I'm based in St. Petersburg, Florida. I have a digital marketing agency called Dragon Digital Marketing, and we do inbound marketing, and we just help small businesses to get more visibility online through digital marketing. So I do stuff like SEO, web design, web development, social media marketing, content marketing, email marketing, a lot of different things.
Interesting. Sounds like fun, and I'm totally jealous of you living in Florida and I'm stuck here in Scotland. But we'll scratch past that part. So you've got this agency. How long's the agency been going for?
So I founded Dragon Digital Marketing in October 2019. So yeah, about 6 months now.
6 months. And prior to starting out on your own, what was your kind of background? Like, how long have you been doing all of this digital marketing stuff for?
Right. So I've been doing digital marketing for 5 years. I'm originally coming from like the corporate world. So I had a job as a digital marketer in a team at like a corporation. And that was like my dream. After high school, I was like, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to get my degree in business administration, major in marketing, and then go for like a huge corporation, have like a fancy, cool sounding title and do marketing there. Right. And then I, did it. And then I just didn't like it. I wanted to like it in the beginning. Like I wanted to convince myself that I like it and this is what I wanted. And then I just realized, well, it wasn't. And now, with all the startups trending, it's like, yeah, almost really like a trend to be like an entrepreneur, start your own thing. A lot of super young people start their own ventures, found their own businesses. And I'm like, why not start now and like just do it? The longer I wait and the longer that I procrastinate, the more I have to actually lose. And right now it's just excuses that I'm, saying to myself, why I'm not doing it. So I really put a lot of work and effort into learning more about digital marketing besides my job. So in my free time, I would take all these courses, read books, go to seminars, just be active in communities, engage with people, and teach myself more and more stuff. I learned web development. I learned HTML and CSS to step up my SEO game even more. And all of those things until I just felt ready and did it. So that's how Dragon Digital Marketing started. The name, in case some people are wondering, I like dragons. I think they're cute. I have a bearded dragon as a pet, and I just think like little lizards, chameleons, iguanas also are just super cool and fascinate me. So that's where the name comes from.
Oh, it's a good enough name. So what I want to do is go back, obviously, to your corporate job. You're in there, 5 years or whatever. What was the reason for you not liking what you were doing? Like, was it you wanted to be your own boss, or was it there was just no job progression or not enough money? What was the deciding factor where you said,
right? So I definitely liked what I was doing and like the task that I was assigned and the work itself. What I didn't like was like the environment, like the hierarchy, people not taking you seriously when you have like a suggestion and be like, oh, you're new or you're young, yet like you only been here for like 3 years. What do you have to say? I'm here for 15 years, yada, yada, yada. Like with those excuses, especially in like an environment as dynamic as digital marketing, it changes all the time. Like nothing is the same as like even like a couple of years ago, not even like 5 years ago. So a lot of people just have a fixed mindset. And I think it comes from, this fixed environment. larger companies, they have their routines, they stick to like their SOPs and processes, and everything's like super formal and rigid, and people are like not really willing to try out new stuff and, you know, experiment, or are just open for other suggestions from other people. People take a lot of things personally, have false pride a lot of the times, you know what I'm saying? So it's not all like, and you're super dependent on like the people you work with and your team. Oftentimes you hear like, oh, this is just the way like we do things around here. This is how it's always been. This is how we've always done it. Like, we're not going to change it. Stuff like that. So I'm a very creative person, and that was something that I didn't like. And I've always kind of knew that I wanted to be my own boss. But in my head, like originally, like planning my life, I wanted to wait. I was like imagining myself starting my own business, maybe like in my early or mid 30s, definitely not in my mid 20s. And now I did it in my mid 20s. So that was like the only difference. And I'm so glad that I did it, for sure.
Yeah, no, it's interesting to hear why as well. And I think, you know, people, in my opinion, you know, try and dampen the noise from young people or whatever, you know, because they're older people, older generation, where, as you know, in this industry, it's all about trying and testing new things in different ways and embracing new technology and platforms and whatnot. So it's kind of, it sucks that that's the way that companies are being run. But I think that's good. I don't like the corporate world either. You know, I just think it's BS, if I'm honest. But
I wanted to be polite and like not bash it too much, but yeah, that's kind of like the impression that I have of it too. And I also feel like people in the whole online marketing, digital marketing community online are super open and like so nice and so, you know, just open-minded, friendly and welcoming and happy to see like new faces and, you know, excited about hearing about new points of view and other perspectives and other suggestions. So it's just like this contrast of like people in the corporate world. They're like a different kind of breed of people. Like, you have to be made for that, I guess. Some people love it, some people don't, and it's just not for them, and it's not for us. Like, it's not for the both of us.
That's for some people, but I think, you know, sometimes I would kick myself if I suffered it and then broke free and thought, you know, there's a whole different world out here, and you know, I could grow a lot more and stuff. But also what I wanted to ask you was, when you decided to leave, how long did it actually take you to get yourself out the door? Because it's all good and well going, I hate this job, but I'm going to assume, now I might be completely wrong, but you just came from a normal background and didn't have millions in the bank to just go away and start up on your own. So what was that transition like? Like, how long did it take? And was there something that gave you the final push over the edge? Because I know so many people who are like, I'm going to leave, and they've been saying it for the last 2 years, and they're still sitting there. But was there something that you just went, oh, I'm off, see you later?
Yeah, I think it just made click at some point. And exactly what you're saying right now, a lot of people, like, they're procrastinating and they're always talking about what they're going to do. Like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Or, you know, friends of mine, they tell me about like awesome ideas that they have, and then they never pursue them. And it's like, I don't want to be like that. Like, let's just do it. Like, I was just thinking about it, and like really, I was doing a lot of research. So it took me a little bit over a year until I finally did it. So I did a lot of research about how to start a business and everything. You know, what the ironic thing is, I went to business school for business administration and majored in marketing. I had no idea how to start a business, right? They don't teach you that kind of stuff in business school. So that's like a whole other topic, like the school system and universities. And what they actually teach you and how they prepare you for, you know, running a business. That's maybe a discussion for like another day or like another episode. But yeah, I had to research everything. Basically, I knew nothing. So yeah, a lot of bureaucracy and stuff that I had to do, and also new skills that I felt like I wanted to have. Obviously, it was clear to me from the beginning that I can't do it all alone. I need some type of team, not necessarily employees that work for me, and I have all these pressure, and also those people like depend on me, and so that's not something that I even considered from the very beginning. But what I did consider is like, you definitely need some help. You definitely need a team, and you're not alone, and you don't got to feel like you're alone. So I hired some freelancers for certain things, just from like my own money. I was saving up a little bit, but not too much actually. The good thing is that like a digital marketing agency pretty much is an online business. So there's no office, there's no product that we sell, so there's no production, there's no stuff with delivery and customer orders and shipping and storage and all that kind of stuff. So it takes a lot of things out of the equation versus if you have like a product-based business and sell a product. So lucky for me, it's a service-based business, so I didn't need a whole lot of money. I never got any funding. I just felt like I never like really needed it. The entry barriers to start your own agency are just really low, and now is the perfect time to get started. Like, you got a laptop, you're pretty much almost good to go. Of course, you need some money, but it's like really doable. Like, you can really do it. So yeah,
Yeah.
it took me until like I actually did it. Yeah, it took me, I think, a little bit over a year, like I said. And I was so motivated to do it because every day I was like, I didn't like this job. Like, I don't want to go there. I don't want to get up in the morning. So that's what really, really motivated me. And I really went hard.
Yeah, no, I mean, you basically stole my next bunch of questions. Was going to be, it doesn't. Well, I know it doesn't cost a lot to go on your own, and again, those who are thinking about it, you don't have to have, $50,000 in the bank or anything like that. You can literally just go for it and take the chance. And do the smart thing. What you've done when I started my own agency, I done it the crazy way where I got an office, then I started hiring people, and before I knew it, I was doing decent turnover, but not a whole lot of profit because of the overheads. So it wasn't the smartest way, but you seem to have captured on. I was just getting, I don't even know what I was thinking, to be honest. But you seem to have the smart outlook in terms of using freelancers, and I think that's something I'd highly, highly recommend anyone in this position doing. But obviously, you've done that. You've jumped ship. You don't have a leg to stand on. You don't have an income coming in anymore. So when you're starting to get clients on board, what type of clients are these? Because I know you said you offer, pretty much everything to do with digital marketing. What was your main focus? Was it like web design? Was it SEO, or was it just grab everything and anything? What was the kind of sales approach like?
So I do target small businesses and small business owners in particular. I don't want to work with huge corporations and enterprises. It's a lot more formal. Like, they expect more formalities from you. Like, they want like a company brochure and stuff like that. They want like a whole pitch deck. They want so many documents to show and stuff like that. So that's not what I'm all about. I just want to help people get more visibility online, make everything as simple and as easy as possible, and just be personal, not be that PC all the time, and that that whole vibe is just not me. So I do target small business owners, also like just one-man businesses, everything that's just a small business basically. And my focus is on websites and SEO. So designing websites, building websites, and then optimizing them for search engines, including like the content and the copy and the visuals and the images, color palettes, picking out the typography, essentially like building a brand.
Mm-hmm.
That's like my focus, and it kind of like incorporates everything a little bit. You know, it also has to do with setting up social profiles and stuff like that. It depends on how much hand holding a client actually wants. But yeah, the main thing is like optimizing websites and doing SEO.
So obviously you're doing that, and it all sounds good and clearly is going well for you. Is there going to become a point though, or you might have already resolved this already? Who does all the client handholding? Are you doing all of that stuff, or have you already got someone that takes that pressure away from you?
I know I'm doing the client handholding all by myself. I like the personal connection. I think that, excuse me, I have like a small community, obviously, because I just started out, but it's like a very close relationship. Like people actually reply to my email newsletters that I send out and be like, oh, thank you so much. That was a great tip. Like I did this and that, and I listened to you, and now I got this and that. And like, it's so cool to hear. We hop on Zoom calls and just, chat and see how things are going. And it's literally like a friendship. Like it's a super cool relationship. And that's also what I like. So I like to be like the contact person for clients and also be the face of Dragon Digital Marketing. And yeah, just help them out as me, Monique. And yeah, that's how I handle it. Definitely at some point, like you've already said, I will have to also get help with that and hire another person to also help me with that as I'm scaling my business. But right now it's just me and I'm really, really enjoying it. So to me, what I outsource, I don't like accounting. So that would be some stuff that I outsource, or just manual stuff like copy and paste work, data entry, people migrating to like a different email marketing software, like a different CMS and stuff like that. Or some people didn't even have a customer relationship management system set up before. So setting all of that up and copying and pasting stuff from like Excel sheets and stuff like that. So that's things that I do outsource. Sometimes even some web development stuff if I just don't have the time. But if I do, I also like to do that. Like I like coding and programming. Basically, I get to be my own boss and pick what I want to do when I want to do it. And I can always do whatever I feel like doing, or whatever I don't feel like doing. I can get help with that. So that's like perfect, right?
Oh, no, listen.
I always wanted, absolutely. So
no, it's a perfect position to be in. I mean, I'm pretty similar to you in the fact that I don't like the accounting side of business and stuff like that. So I'd much rather be doing stuff that actually, helps a client than chasing up invoices or even raising invoices. But I think obviously the great thing about this industry is you can delegate a lot of that stuff out to a person, or use automation as well where possible to kind of do your invoicing and set, chase those invoices. But on invoicing and contracts and all of that kind of stuff, for a new business, and obviously you don't have to answer this, do you have contracts in place for clients? Do you not? And how are you finding the invoicing? Because one thing I would say to anyone is that invoicing side of things is something you have to keep on top of from the get-go, because you give someone an inch, they'll take a yard. Have you come across any problems where you're spending more time chasing invoices than actually doing any work? And what have you done to kind of alleviate those problems?
yes, absolutely. So I do have contracts in place with every single client. I do not do anything, not even like the littlest thing, without a contract. And then I have the scope of the project, or if it's like a monthly retainer of that. So I definitely always make sure to have it in writing, what is out of scope and what is in scope. And I'm really meticulous with that. And clients want something else, I'm like, sure, of course. But now I'm gonna add this to like our document, and I'm gonna get a signature from them again. What I also do, in addition to like the contract and the project project template basically, where I list the scope. I also I list the scope, I list the single steps, and I also list some milestones, and then I also give them an idea in accordance to the milestones, how the payment plan is designed, because obviously clients don't pay all at once. It would be too much for a lot of business owners. It is just too much, right? It's not like a cheap service
Yeah.
So I always negotiate with clients how we're going to do it. Most of the time, what the concept that I like the most too is if they pay 50% upfront, and from then on, it's going to be installments according to the milestones. So what I was actually going to say was, in addition to the contract and the project template, I also always add a non-disclosure agreement so that you're also, safe when it comes to that, because obviously as digital marketers, we see a lot of data. We see personal information from their existing customers and clients. There's just a lot of confidential information, even when it comes to stuff like passwords. Not everybody has LastPass or other password management softwares. So some people just like to work old school, and it's also important to have that set in place. You don't even have to have your own lawyer and hire your own lawyer to do that for you. There's great templates online, so you can use those and then have a lawyer check it for you, just to be extra safe. Better safe than sorry. The law is different from state to state, so it varies depending on what state you live in. You may want to get that checked. There's a great website called Rocket Lawyer, where you can basically customize your own template, and then you pay a monthly fee, and you always can have a lawyer look over the stuff that you've created, basically. So the agreements and the contracts that you've created, and they make sure that it's fine with my state and the client state. And I'm also really, I've done that from the beginning. I've heard bad stories from freelancers and other people, who are just in trouble because they didn't do it. So I always do that. That's super important to me. I would literally decline work and say I'm not going to do it if they're not okay with this process. It's super transparent. It's not highfalutin language or anything like that. I really write it out. I customize it, right? So I write large parts of it myself in just plain English, and it's super easy to read. I make sure that I'm super transparent about that. I'm also always available for questions and everything. I want to make this the most, as smooth as I can possibly.
Yeah. Well, you've clearly done a lot of research, which is great to see for someone young, and not new to it. It's all of these things I'm asking are things that I just failed to do, and it's great to see someone picking up on that stuff, and obviously trying to eliminate those problems. And what I also bloody hate is that you keep answering all my questions. I was going to ask you, where do you get a template? And also one last other thing, you've obviously answered where you get the templates.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is, obviously you said if someone adds something to the scope, that you get another signature. What are you using to get these people to sign this stuff? Is there a software where they sign it, or what can you?
No, you can sign it online. So if they're old school, they can print it out. It's a PDF document. They can print it out, sign it, take a picture of it, or scan it and then send it back to me, or they can just sign it online. I'm on a Mac, so I'm using Preview, and whenever you open a PDF document with Preview, you can just insert your signature. I don't know if you know that feature. So you just set up your signature once, and then you just drag it down to the line, and that's basically the process. Super simple. If clients have a software, they can use that. At the end of the day, all I care about is that there's a signature on the document that they then send back to me.
Interesting. So moving away from all that boring documents and stuff, because again, I hate all that stuff, but it's very, very important that you've got that implemented, as you've said. But going on to doing the work and all of that kind of stuff, obviously you're working with different freelancers. I'm assuming they're not all local to you. They're from around the world, right?
Yeah, they're from around the world. For writing stuff, I like to hire local people. Like, I've just heard bad things about, if you hire non-native English speakers, it's just a hassle.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I hire people from around the
world. So how do you, or what are you using to, is there like a CMS or something you're using to kind of send this work to people and interact with them, or is it all email based?
I use platforms. I like to use Freelancer, Upwork, Fiverr, people that I know from, just networking. I know freelancers, and so I just in the DMs, different stuff, yeah.
But in terms of the actual management of the work, so you've got all your guys hired from Upwork or whatever, that's all good. But in terms of you managing a project, is there a software or a system that you're using where you're going to tell your web designer, I've got to sign off for this scope of work, here's the scope of work? What are you using?
Oh, okay. So the communication is basically email. Sometimes when it does require like a face-to-face meeting, Zoom. And then obviously like to manage all the tasks and to-dos, I like to use Trello, Microsoft To-Do, and just, tools like that.
Trello. Yeah, no, Trello's a good old favourite. I was just curious to know if you had something else up your sleeve on that. But in terms of getting clients, getting clients is going to be the thing that probably scares everyone the most, including yourself. When you leave, you're going, geez, don't know where my next bit of money's coming from. What or how, or can you give us some tips on how you were quickly able to hit the ground running? Where did you go? I know you said that you go on online communities and all that stuff. Is that where all the work comes from, or is there something else that you were doing?
That's just for networking, getting online visibility for myself, getting my name out there, and just, networking with people. And that's just also the most valuable resources ever that you can find to just find information. Like I did a lot of research and just listen to people, like active listening. Like it's like so simple, but it's so important and saves you a lot of trouble. Like I prefer learning from other people's mistakes than making the mistakes myself and then, learning the hard way. So I prefer learning the easy way. So I just talk to a lot of people and just listen, and don't be shy. Just hit people up. Most people like to talk about themselves and, like to tell their story, and they're flattered by the fact that, someone is interested in them. And it's just natural. Like for us humans, it makes us feel appreciated. And so definitely don't be shy. Everybody is like super accessible and approachable these days, especially like through social media. So that's how you network. The way that I find clients is like a whole other process. So I've been running some ads, but my agency really is focused on inbound marketing and doing everything the inbound way. So it took me a while to find clients. I didn't have clients from the get-go, and there also was like a phase where I was doing both. So it wasn't like, okay, I'm going to quit my job and then start my agency. I was doing it as a side hustle at first because I didn't get clients from the beginning. That's like the dream situation, dream scenario, but oftentimes it's not the reality. And also doesn't have to be like, just, use your brain, use your common sense and think, and, don't be too eager and then get in financial trouble. So you can quit your job when you're ready to quit your job and when you look at your bank balance, and that also reflects that you're ready to quit your job. Don't do it sooner. So I wasn't under a lot of pressure, and I just had to be patient. Like the inbound way, it just takes time. I've been focusing on high quality content from the beginning. Like I only publish long form stuff. And I just do my best to optimize my content and my user experience on my website, and like throughout every touch point that a person possibly can have with me. I answer comments. I just jump in the conversation. Like that's a quote from Gary Vee that I just heard recently. He said, Twitter is like a giant cocktail party, and everybody has permission to just jump in conversations, and that's literally what it is. So yeah, Twitter, I'm really active on Twitter. It's actually my favorite social network for my business.
Oh.
So yeah, and then I really think the customer journey through. I picture the funnel, and then I really, so first of all, it's like a bunch of things. I got a super detailed buyer persona of my ideal customer in my head and also written down. And so basically I've learned over time what I have to do and what people need. So in the interest and awareness stage, what's going on in a potential customer's mind? What do they want? What problems do they have? How solution aware are they? And so on. And like in the consideration and intent stage, it's entirely different. Then you want to make them aware of your solution. They're already aware of like the solution in general, but you want to point out what's unique about you so they consider you. And then in the purchase stage, when they're ready to buy, they're going to search for a whole other different things. They're going to be very specific and actually search for like digital marketing agency near me, or a digital marketing agency in Florida or in St. Petersburg or whatever. So that's different. So I'm, really big about funnels, detailed buyer personas, and automation. And I have my email sequences all in place, and I just switch it out. Like, for example, the first email had like a more rational pitch talking about the numbers and the ROI and how my digital marketing services can help people get more revenue and attract more customers to them. Then like the next email would have like more of an emotional angle and be like, get the traffic that you deserve because you deserve it. And you're, that's like a whole, I just switch it up, and I just, got everything in place and everything figured out. I'm super big on strategy and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how I do it, but it still takes time. Doesn't mean that if you do it like that, nothing is fast, really. Nothing worth having comes easy or comes fast. Like, you just have to know that.
Yeah, no,
and then also leverage just your connections and the people you know. So your first clients typically are people that you already know. When you tell your friends and your family members and they refer you, and in the beginning, for most people, that's just the reality of it. It's going to be on like a hustle and referral basis until you have that automated lead generation system set up and you have reached that level of traffic that your funnel and your conversion rates are going to be good enough that you get, a consistent stream of customers that are actually converting and going from conversion to conversion until they actually are your customers. So that takes time. In the beginning, it's just hustle and referral, and just do good work. Like, just give your best and try to be better than everybody else. Try to always learn, always stay open-minded. And, if something is really, really good, that it's noteworthy and that it's remarkable, people are going to talk about it. And that's always what I have in mind and what I want to reach. Like, I want people to say, oh my gosh, Monique, like, she designed the most beautiful logo for my startup. She got what I told her. Like, she completely understood me and what I wanted in the meeting that we had. And she literally brought my vision to life and just, did it how I imagined it in my dreams. Those are like the stories that you want. This is exactly what you want to reach. So just deliver amazing work. And that's something that you can only do if you really love what you do and, you feel like it's your passion. If you're just in it because, digital marketing, like, it's super hype right now, and SEO, like, it's super hype right now, everybody's talking about it, let me just get into that and so I can make money, or so I can just hop on that train. What I see a lot of people doing. And and obviously from that motivation that people have, if they approach it from, that angle, they're never going to be as good as someone who is intrinsically motivated because they really love marketing, or, you can apply it to like every field out there.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I think most of the successful guys I know, like, live and breathe SEO or digital marketing. I'm in a few WhatsApp group chats, and there's guys arguing about strategy and stuff at like 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning and stuff, like, or 10 o'clock on a Saturday night when everyone else should be out drunk. They're saying, no, this is bullshit, this is garbage, and try this and try that. And as I say, that they're all like really motivated about it, and I think that's where I see myself as well. I love SEO and stuff like that, and I think that's been probably the single biggest thing in any success that I've had, is not because I'm it's magic or anything, just because I'm obsessed with it and trying to better myself all the time. But going back a few steps before we do wrap it up, obviously you've started out, you've done this stuff, and I think you've done a lot of clever stuff, and you clearly are on the way to doing great things. But is there anything that you've done, because it's all good and well talking about success, has there been any failures along the way in your first, it's nearly, probably not far off a year you've been on your own, has there been anything where you would say, I've tried this and it was absolute garbage, it was wrong, avoid it? Is there anything you can give us there that you've done that you probably wouldn't advise another person to do?
No, not really, actually, to be honest. Nothing major, nothing I can think of right now.
No, just curious to know. And also you said, you read and done a lot of research and done all of this stuff. Can you give us a couple of places, if someone's listening just now saying, bloody hell, she's smart, done her research, she's listened to people and all that, is there a group, a Facebook group, a forum, or people that you follow? Can you give us a few tips on where you found this information?
Yeah, I started leveraging and, looking at all the information that people put out for free out there, like on YouTube, Neil Patel, his videos, his YouTube channel, Brian Dean from Backlinko, consumed all of that. Took some courses from Google Digital Garage. They have like a really good digital marketing course that's free. It's super, super basic, but it's ideal for beginners. And then if you get more advanced, I think I actually did every single course from the Moz Academy. Mm-hmm. And just, put everything to work. Like, I've never been a person who just likes to consume the theory and like just read the information or watch the information in form of a video. I just put everything to work. So I signed up for softwares and like actually try things out. Like, I set up automations, and I was always super eager to like understand the concept behind things. I was tweaking different headlines, different messaging, different copy, different stuff like that here and there. I've been revamping my own website like multiple times ever since I set it up. And like, remember, it's only 6 months old. So I'm always like trying and monitoring and observing and asking people also just openly like, hey, how do you find this? Check this out. Collecting the feedback and just always iterating, tweaking, improving, and that's how I do it.
Interesting. And you also lastly mentioned that you went to some seminars or and stuff like that. What sort of ones there would you advise? Were they in-person seminars? Were they online? And what were they?
Everything was online. So it was basically like online seminars, web seminars, or webinars. Ann Handley, I like her a lot. She's great for writing and content marketing. Jay Bear does a lot of webinars. Who else? Just trying to think. Live streams too. Actually, Elementor also got really, really cool webinars that they do on a regular basis. Like, I always see the emails. Who else? Like, basically almost everybody. Just look at like the most credible sources, SEMrush, specifically for SEO now, SEMrush, Moz, Backlinko, Neil Patel, Your stuff is great too.
I didn't pay you to say that. People will be like, oh, look at her.
Godin, I really love his interviews and the stuff that he puts out too. I listen to other podcasts. I just like to, listen to other people's stories, and don't just listen to the success stories and interviews with people that scaled their business from like, I don't know, $10 to their name and their bank account, and now they got like 25 million or whatever. Like, those are amazing stories. You can definitely listen and get inspired by that and try to take as much away from that as you can, but like also listen to normal people like me and you, and how they started everything, from the beginning, thinking baby steps, and just consume everything that you possibly can. I mean, it's up to everybody how you spend your time. You can waste your time and mindlessly scroll down your Instagram feed or watch Netflix or whatever, or you can actually consume informational content, educational content that's an investment in your future, and that's going to get you further in life. And if you do that, like I did for a little bit over a year, you're going to be a beast, like in no time. Like, imagine that. If you're like, if you improve yourself 1% and get 1% better every day, in 100 days, you're already 100% better. So right there, you've already doubled your skills and your skill set and your expertise. And then if you're not shy and hiding yourself in your own house, but you're putting yourself out there and publishing content, then you're also growing your trustworthiness and your visibility and your, overall online presence. Like, people know about you and you build a reputation. That's how you build your brand. That's how you get going. Like, it's like the process. Learn, apply, share.
Yeah. And one final thing I want to ask you, because a lot of people say it's all good and well, putting your face out there, but a lot of people are, especially in this industry, are introverts.
Yeah. That's why I said that.
Do you find it I mean, clearly you come across very comfortable on camera and stuff like that. Is that something you just thought, I have to do this? Are you that comfortable? Because I know, when I've been speaking and done webinars and podcasts and everything at the start, I used to have a dry mouth and be really nervous. But my mindset was, just do it, because if these other guys can do it, then I can do it. What's your take on that? Is it something you're actually comfortable with, or is this something you just feel that you just got to do?
I definitely feel like it's something that you have to do, but practice makes perfect, and you have to get used to it in order to become comfortable with it. So I've always been like an outgoing person. I love presentations. Like, I remember like in high school, I was always like, when the teacher was like, that grade is not going to be an exam, but it's a presentation. I was like, yes, presentation. Like, now I'm going to get an A+. So, it really depends on what type of person you are. But if you're like more introverted, there's different types of media formats. You can start with text, putting your name on things, guest blogging, like just have your name appear somewhere in like the author section of blogs and other websites. Then the next step that you can do is, images. Post pictures of yourself. Let people know like the face, who's behind whatever it is that you're doing. Not everybody has their own name in their company name. So definitely show your face and share a picture that you're comfortable with, that you're proud of, that you feel like you look good in that, and share that and put that in like your thumbnails or on your blog, whatever. Incorporate that. Then the next thing you can do is audio. You can start you don't even have to start a podcast. Actually, I do recommend you to start a podcast if you haven't already. Like, it's booming. Like, Michelle Obama started her own podcast. I think Kim Kardashian or something. Like, everybody right now kind of like starting their own podcast. So audio is like really, really great and a really great time to jump into right now. So then you're just basically making your voice public, and it's just like you speaking. And then the next step that you can take in like this sequence of baby steps would be video content. And, you know, you don't have to like record hour-long videos or whatever. Like, start with little snippets. Like, look at what Gary Vee does. Like, record a 30-second thing, sharing like one quick tip or whatever. And, you know, just get comfortable with it. And you'll lose that nervousness and that whole, it's not, you know, it's not strange to you anymore. It's not special. It's like, oh, I got this interview with Craig this morning, and then I got this interview with this and that, and it's just like your normal routine, and you get used to it. And that's how you become self-confident. And also what I would like to say is there's nothing wrong with being introverted. A lot of people mistake being introverted with being shy. You don't have to be like super, I don't know, you know, some people, they have like huge gestures and facial expressions, and they're like super just active and this and that. You don't have to be like that. Just be authentic. Just be your authentic self and be natural. And you can be introverted and, you know, still be super professional. You just can't be shy. You just can't be self-insecure or questioning yourself, because you know, your audience just knows that you're not really, it's like, if that guy isn't even like, you know, sure and convinced of what he's saying, like, why would I consume information from him or believe that, or you know, actually execute those tips and stuff like that. So you just have to be just be self-secure and confident, and you can be introverted, and you don't have to be super extravagant and extraordinary if that's just not you.
Yeah, no, good tips, good tips. But sadly, we are out of time. But I'm sure we'll get you back for something else in the future. You could probably talk all day. All sorts of different stuff. But for anyone who's interested in potentially talking to you, reaching out to you, working with you, where's the best place for people to find you?
Yeah, you can find me on my website. That's dragon-digital-marketing.com. I'm also on social media. You can find me on Facebook. That's Dragon Digital Marketing as well. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on YouTube. I just started a YouTube channel. I hope to get more traction in there as well. So yeah, just type it into Google and you can find me. I also got a blog that's called the Dragon Digital Marketing Blog. I also got a podcast. It's called the Dragon Digital Marketing Podcast. So yeah, you can definitely find me, and I'm super available and approachable.
And we'll have the links below the video as well if you do want to reach out to Monique. But thank you very much for taking the time to come on, and hopefully I will catch up with you again soon.
Great. You're welcome. I had a great time. There's so much you can share about this topic, but I really hope that it helps out people a lot and they can take things away from that. And I've had a blast and happy to be back on your show.